But what I was saying is like when we first encountered that situation, part of me was like, wait, but doesn't she realize that like, hey, I'm grinding away so you can have a great life and you don't have to deal with, working or questioning how we're gonna take a vacation, all that stuff that a
Mm-hmm.
man feels when they're working. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what, she's right. Because if God forbid, what if I go to work tomorrow and I get into a car accident and I don't make it home? Like the future that I was working so hard for wasn't here or isn't
Mm-hmm.
here, and also I died. So like, what did we really get to enjoy?
Yeah.
You know?
There was a saying you told me once that someone said to you.
Yes, he said, "Don't get so caught up building a living that you forget to build a life." Most people talk about love once their life is already built, once the money is made, the career is stable, and the house is bought. But nobody really talks about what it's like to build love while you're still building a life. Because when you're young, ambitious, and trying to create something bigger than yourself, everything feels uncertain. Your time, your energy, your finances, your future. And the truth is, a lot of ambitious men quietly ask themselves the same question: can I really build something great and build a relationship at the same time? Or do you have to sacrifice one for the other? Today, we're diving into that same conversation, answering that same question, because I find myself in a season of building career wise, business wise, but I'm also focused on building our love
Mm-hmm.
and our family in this season of my life. So, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys my life partner, my best friend, and the epicenter of my happiness and my support, Elizabeth O'Donnell.
Aw, thank you, babe. That was
Of course,
beautiful.
of course.
Hi, everyone.
So we are into episode 1. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling actually very good today. I'm feeling excited. I am so excited for all the conversations we're gonna have, and I feel like it's gonna be great stuff. So I'm very happy.
You've never done a podcast before,
I
right?
have never done a podcast before.
Are you a little nervous?
I am a little nervous, but it's you, so like that makes me
Yeah.
feel better because it's just like if you think about it, it's just you and I in our home having a conversation.
Yeah, that is very true. And I'm going to be honest, like, obviously, the behind the scenes. Like, I've wanted a podcast for the longest, and I was able to, believe it or not, put this together with my own hands. So I'm a little surprised about that.
Yes, you did a great job. It looks beautiful in here.
For you guys that don't really know me like that, I am the most white collar guy there is.
Yeah.
So even putting up this wall, it was a huge achievement for me.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. You did
I was
amazing.
grinding away. Like I was working on this for a couple of.
Yes, you were. You were. I had no mans for a couple days.
That's funny, but yeah, just like you said, I'm super excited for the topics we're gonna dive into today. I really, or we really hope to drive home
Mm,
value when it comes to building life and building love at the same time, because I feel
yes.
like that's a place that a lot of people find themselves in, right?
Yes, I agree.
Um, So yeah, let's get into it. So you know this, but the people listening to this for the first time probably don't. This is episode 1 of the One Club podcast. I'm super excited to get into this and to continue to create these valuable conversations that are
Hmm.
just really recorded. That's really what a podcast is. And I'm going to practice and better myself each and every episode. So for this one, obviously we prepped before this as best as we could. I put together a little bit of like a structure, so we're not like running off tangent. We don't leave any food on the table,
Hmm.
and we can really drive home the message. The first thing that I really wanted to dive into, this is very unspoken of, is how is it living or dealing with an ambitious man?
Mm. That's a good question. I would say living and dealing with an ambitious man. It is hard, very difficult, but very rewarding.
Mm,
Very rewarding. It's difficult when it comes to dedication of time, just because if you're with an ambitious man, work, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle is going to be their number one thing, obviously. So with you, I think it's a lot of hustle, a lot of work. And yeah, it's just timing. I would say it's a little bit difficult because you won't be able to be with your partner as much, but it's all for good things. So
yeah,
definitely hard, a lot of sacrificing, but also very rewarding. I'm just
and
gonna silence my phone. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no
Go ahead.
problem. Um, that's something that like I don't think we speak about a lot. Like obviously, when I'm working and stuff like that, you're like, "Dang, babe, like, can we spend some quality time together?" But I don't think I ask you enough. Like, what are those challenges and those struggles that you actually deal with, like being with me? Like, what are those things that I don't even know that you may be experiencing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me personally, quality time is probably my number two biggest love language.
Mm,
Spending quality time with the people that I love. And obviously, I love you so much, like you're my best friend. So that's crucial to me. So at the beginning, it was so hard. And I had friends that like have boyfriends as business owners, like Vero. She told me,
hmm.
she's like, girl, be ready. Cool. She told me, be ready because when you're with an ambitious businessman, it's hard
Mm,
because that time will not be there. And at the beginning, I struggled so much with that of wanting more time with you, wanting more of you, but work didn't let that happen.
yeah. What so I go back to the beginning, right? And there was times where we would have situations where I would be, constant working, not even have time for us, let
Yeah.
alone really myself, because it's just be like on the
Yes.
constant grind. But we've been able to create systems and
We have.
structure that solve that. Do you want to give the audience listening like we had a problem and what our solution has been when it comes to quality time?
Yes. So couple months back when we still lived in the little studio apartment, we were struggling a lot because that's when you really started to lock in. You locked in, you were dating day and night working, and I was struggling a lot myself with the timing of not being able to be there for each other. And
Right.
we basically sat down. You saw me struggling. You, as a man, recognized, okay, my woman is in distress. I need to fix this, which I give you kudos. We sat down and we built a schedule and a structure. We said, okay, you're allowed to work as much as you want Monday through Thursday, but Friday nights are date nights. And without a doubt, every Friday night is their date night. No
Hmm.
matter how much work you might have, you make sure that that happens. And Sundays are church and family days.
Yeah.
So I would say that having a structure that works for the both of us, you dedicating that time to me, and obviously, like during the week, sometimes if you have time, you'll have dinner with
Of
me
course.
and stuff like that. So building that structure and schedule, don't you think? Like, I feel like that helped us so much for the both of us to be
Yeah.
happy.
I'm gonna say two things because while you were saying that, two things came to mind. There's different seasons of life that
Yes.
relationships go through. Because I know when you just said, "Oh, sometimes you have dinner with me," some people are like, "Damn, this guy don't
No,
even
no,
have dinner with
no.
me." And like, yes and no. Like the reason why I say every relationship has different seasons. Like we're very much in a building season of our life right
Yeah.
now. Where like I'm working extra hard. We're reinventing ourselves. Like there's a lot more grind in this season compared
Yes.
to maybe others in the future we'll be in. That's why I may not make it to a 7 p.m. dinner
Mm-hmm.
because I may be on a call or I may be in the middle of something.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a schedule, and
yeah,
also like when I said dinner, you might have a call,
yeah,
and you would
exactly.
tell me like I can have dinner at 8:30, but I want dinner at 7:30,
Mhm.
and like I don't like eating late, so I'm like,
Yeah,
babe, it's okay, we'll have dinner
exactly.
tomorrow. So like
Exactly.
compromise.
So that one thing is, identifying the season
Yeah.
of life you and your partner are in is a
Mm-hmm.
huge part of it. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was a lot of times men and women will find themselves in that situation where the man is grind, not enough time. The woman's like, "Hey, you make no time for me," and the man's kind of like, "Oh, but don't you see I'm building this future for us? Like I'm working so you don't have to work anymore," or all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to realize that, and you've helped me with this, that as much as the long term matters, the long term life matters, and building that life matters, also living in the present does,
Yes.
and coming from a man, right? When we first encountered that situation, part of me was like, wait, guys,
We
let's
have
just stop for 1 second. We have our 12-week-old puppy here. She's just playing staff right now.
Yes, she's here with us. We have both dogs.
Yeah.
Obviously, our big one, he's the best, so he's sleeping. But she, as you could see,
She has a
is
little
a
bit
little
of energy
extra,
right now.
yes,
Yeah.
energy. So,
But don't mind her. But what I was saying is like when we first encountered that situation, part of me was like, wait, but doesn't she realize that like, hey, I'm grinding away so you can have a great life and
yeah.
you don't have to deal with working or questioning how we're gonna take a vacation, all that stuff that a
Mm-hmm.
man feels when they're working. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what, she's right because if God forbid, what if I go to work tomorrow and I get into a car accident and I don't make it home? Like the future that I was working so hard for wasn't here or isn't
Mm-hmm.
here, and also I died. So like, what did we really get to enjoy?
Yeah.
You know?
There was a saying you told me once that someone said to you, a guy at the gym. What was it that he said to you?
Yes, he said, "Don't get so caught up building a living that you forget to build a life."
Mm, I love that
Yes.
because it's true. Some people work, 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 and they forget what is it that you're working for.
I'm gonna say that one more time because this is huge. Don't get so caught up building a living that you forget to build a life.
And I want to give a perfect example that I just thought about.
Mm,
My uncle, a really good uncle of mine, he was my grandma's brother. He came to this country to work, obviously to provide for his wife and his two kids in Dominican Republic. He woke up every day at 4 a.m. He delivered food to delis.
wow.
4 a.m. and worked every day until 6, 7 p.m. Every day, Monday through Sunday, this man worked. And the reason he wanted to work was because he wanted to buy a new vacation home in the Dominican Republic for him to enjoy.
Wow.
Every day this man worked. He got to the point where he finally was able to get the money,
Mhm.
buy the home, and literally within less than a year of him getting all this money, he was diagnosed with cancer
Are
and
you
died within a
kidding me?
year. So you worked all these years to build something for yourself. Oh, when I retire, I'm going to buy that home. When I retire, I'm going to be able to enjoy. Yet you never know what life was going to bring to you. And he died of cancer
Wow.
within less than a year after
Wow.
working for like 30 plus years of his
If
life.
that's not the the best
Lit
message, I mean, I don't mean to laugh in that sense. I
yeah.
laugh in terms of like, if that's not like an eye opener for someone to realize like, hey, today is just as important as tomorrow. I don't know what is. To that point, Alex Ramosi shared this message once, but Dave is really the one who made it, who drove it home for me. It's like, guys, we'll work. We're like, hey, I'm working so hard, so when I'm rich, or when I'm successful, that's a better term that men use. When I'm successful, I can sit down and have breakfast with my wife, or I can take out my wife to dinner. I'm just using very simple terms,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, dude, you don't have to have $1 million in the bank to have breakfast with your wife
Facts.
or take her out to dinner. So sometimes a lot of the things that we're constantly working towards are that we want to do once we're successful. We can do those simple things now because
Now.
those things don't really require money. They require more time and love.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge. And thank you for sharing that story. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. I don't think I ever shared that with you.
We this little rascal, she's got
Yeah.
a
She
extra ounce of
she
energy
has so
today.
much energy,
But
but
yeah, this is her. This
she's
is
a
her.
little addition to the podcast. She'll
Yeah,
bring more views in.
facts.
Babe, before we continue,
What?
we haven't shared our story with the
Oh yes,
public.
yeah, I forgot
We
that.
haven't we haven't shared who we are. How have we met?
Yeah, how do we
Where
get
we
to this point?
how we get here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that?
Sure.
Go
I'll
ahead.
share. I'll start and you can continue because
Okay.
they're like the little things
The
that
little
you added.
details I added.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we met almost 2 years ago, a year and a
Hmm.
half to 2 years ago. It was weird, but like now that I look back to it, so like it was meant to be and it was God's timing of us meeting.
Right.
But definitely would say that like it was what I least expected. Least expected was to meet someone at that time, but we casually met at a restaurant. I was with a mutual friend, you were with a mutual friend,
Hmm.
and it kind of like just happened where obviously like it felt a little by your friend, how he like left a seat next to me for you to sit
Oh, like
down.
intention, like it was
It's,
set up.
yeah, a little bit,
Yeah.
but it was amazing because like to pick your brain that day, the conversations we were having, just to see like where you came from, it was very refreshing to see someone your age,
Absolutely.
um, kind of have the knowledge and the wisdom, and it just really opened my eyes, and yeah, from
Wow.
there it's just been look at us now.
If I wasn't so dark skinned, you'd probably see me blushing right now.
No.
To give further context, I'm 26, she's 47, and nah, I'm
Imagine.
22. I'm 22. She's 26. She's my little cougar. But yeah, the thing, I think you shared our story amazing. The thing I want to throw in there, What I will say to those young men out there, 22, 25, 30, that are building something intentional with their lives, but are still single and are out there looking for their other half, is the most unintentional situations will create the most intentional outcomes.
Yes.
The reason why I say that is because that day that I was with Luis Galarza, and we were going to Tiesto's. Shout out Tiesto's in Patchogue. If you're visiting Long Island or live in
Great
Long Island,
place.
yeah, Tiesto's has amazing Ecuadorian food, South American food in general. But me and him had gotten into a little bit of a little mix up. We had a little bit of a fight, and we were talking it out and stuff like that. We rekindled, and we chose to go out to eat. And like I didn't. The last thing that was on my mind was I was gonna find my future
Yeah.
there, and
Aw.
like to think that we've been together since that day till now, and now we own a home together, and we're traveling together, and
We have two doggies
we have
together.
two doggies together, and like there's so much great that has happened since that day. It's just like I never would have thought that just sitting at that bar that day would lead to all of this.
I know.
So that's why I mean, like, that's what I mean by the most unintentional situations sometimes create the most intentional outcomes,
Yeah.
because the man upstairs has divine timing and he knows how he does things.
Yes.
So that's huge. And thank you for allowing us to share the story first.
Yes.
That's huge. So let's dive into this next part of it. And I want to flip over the mic to you. There's women out there that are single, that feel like they're the baddies, that they got it all together, and they're looking for the man.
Yeah.
We live in a day and age where a lot of men are feminine and a lot of women are masculine.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Like, what value or food do you have for the women out there looking for their man, for a good man?
Yeah. First off, I want to say, as a heads up, I'm sorry for my laugh sometimes. It's a little unique, a little weird and unique.
It's
So,
what makes her special.
yeah. Oh, thank you. I would say I agree. Nowadays, we're living in a generation where men are feminine and women are masculine. It's insane. But I think that the reason why women have become masculine is because we basically need to. When you're with a
Mm.
man that's too feminine, that urges you to become the masculine
What
part.
is a man that's too feminine? Give me like traits.
I feel like a man who isn't a leader, a man who like doesn't lead their partner, a man who isn't putting his part of things, a man who like what I mean by leading is take charge.
Mm.
I'm going to pick you up at this time. Be ready. I'm taking you out on a date.
Mm.
I know the place. I know what we're doing. Lead her. Lead her.
Mm.
Come, follow me this way. This is the entrance. That lead her. Even just leading her inside the restaurant, opening the door for her, opening the chair for her. Lead your
Taking out the
woman.
chair for her.
Taking out her chair. Lead the woman to where you want her to go. Lead her. Let her be feminine. Let her be a
Mm.
woman, and you have to build up and be a man. What is it nowadays that I see these women carrying 5 bags and the man is just chilling como si nada, like nothing? That's feminine energy. Be the man. Be the strong one. Be the leader in the relationship.
Mm.
Show up as a man so your woman can show up as a woman. But if you do not show up as a man, how do you expect a woman to be feminine and show up as one?
That's good. So
You know?
you would say definitely part of what contributes to men being more feminine nowadays is their lack of leadership.
Yes, I think that's
Right.
probably the number one thing. Lack of leadership, lack of stepping up as the male.
What would
know?
you say, like, aside from opening the door or telling her, the itinerary for the night, what are other feminine traits that men nowadays have?
What are the feminine traits? I feel like not wanting to do the hard things in a relationship, having the hard conversations, having those like for example, if something's going on between you guys, always expecting the woman to be the one to communicate, expecting the woman to be the one to seek you, be the leader. That's also being a leader.
Yeah.
Be the leader. Seek the conversation, resolve conflict. You know what I'm saying? Take that first step.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
I would say, to like really wrap it up in a nutshell, let me know if you agree with this, is like being the steward.
Yes.
Because as a man, We are Christians. In our household, we serve the Lord. We respect and appreciate anyone else's beliefs. We call everyone to follow Christ, but we are Christians in our household. But the Bible says man leads a steward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's doing the right things, even when it's hard, really.
Yeah.
And taking care of what it is you stand for and what it is you love.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's very easy nowadays for a man to be caught up in a situation with their significant other, and because of emotions, they don't do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to get any hate, but that is feminine energy. You know, this is with no wrong to women at all, but obviously women are a more of an emotional being
Yeah.
that will more are more likely to make decisions based off of emotion, right? Where the man shouldn't.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Or like nowadays, let's say for people out there who are single and dating, I've seen it where it's like the man could be like, she didn't text me, so I'm not gonna text her.
Mm,
That's feminine energy. That's
yeah.
like, I feel like that's man usually, I don't know. I'm old school. I feel like there's male roles and female
Yeah,
roles, you
that's
know?
true. It really comes down to like for a woman, even for a man, it's if you're single, right? It's finding out what relationship dynamic do you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
You have where uh in layman's terms, right? So where the woman is the breadwinner and the man is kind of the more, chill in the back kind of thing. We see it very common in like Dominican
Dominican
women,
woman.
yeah, Dominican women households where like usually the man, the
Got the
woman,
mitts.
yeah, the woman is a dominant figure, and then the man is a little bit more like chilled back,
Yeah.
relaxed, beta. Then you have realities where the woman and the man both
Mm-hmm.
work, they both share kind of responsibility and stuff like that. And then you have the last one, which is the one we're creating, where it's like my strength is providing, protecting, and creating a future for us.
Mm-hmm.
Your strength is nurturing the home and converting a house into a home. And you have you're very skilled when it comes to motherly instinct. So that's a dynamic of a relationship we're building,
Yeah.
right? So I think a big part of going into a relationship is, hey, I want to be with
Figuring
this
that out.
person. Does this person fit within the model of relationship I want to create on the long term?
Yeah. I
Right?
agree.
Because if you want to stay at home mom and
Mm-hmm.
you take out you're on a date with a CEO of some company, her being a stay at home mom, the likelihood of that happening isn't
Wait,
really
with the
there.
CEO of a company.
Like I'm saying, like if a guy, right, is like, hey, I'm on the search for my other half,
Mm-hmm.
but I want my other half to be a stay at home mom, a more beta
Yeah.
driven woman, and he's on a date with a girl who's a CEO
Oh,
of a
okay. Yes, yes,
company.
that's true.
Like that's not gonna work
I
out,
agree.
you
It's
know?
true. I think that finding out the dynamic from a
Mm-hmm.
very early stage is crucial. I
Yes.
agree. I agree because what if you are with a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but you depend like your salary, unfortunately, a lot of men they're hard workers, but
Yeah.
nowadays doesn't mean that you make the best. You need to depend on a woman to also make a salary. How is that going to work? You
Yes,
know?
that is very true. The other thing I wanted to see what your take is, right? The reason why I want to establish relationship dynamic is because your advice and our conversation is going to be based off of our
Yeah,
relationship dynamic because that's
true.
what works for us. And I believe that there's other people listening to this podcast that will resonate with that relationship dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But for the woman who is a traditional woman like you, that's looking for that 1% man, that good man, what are some tips that you would give them in terms of, hey, no, you're signing up for this, or if you want to find that man, do more of this? Like
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like?
Yeah, so by traditional, I just want to give a heads up. I personally am pretty traditional when it comes to the way that I am. Like I do, and we've discussed this. I do want to be a stay-at-home mom. I
Hmm.
want to take care of the home.
Hmm.
Like that's what I love. I love nurturing the home. Like I want to be able to raise our children. So that's personally who I am, and that's what you were looking for too.
That's super attractive to me. Like I find that sexy.
So I would say like as a woman, things that we can do on our end is first off, I feel like mastering those skills of who do you what do you want to look like when it comes to finding that man. I feel like mastering who you are, mastering your skills, mastering your I feel like who like what is it called? Your confidence.
Mm,
Finding that self-confidence in who you are so when you do meet that man, you're ready for
yeah.
that next step, you
What are
know?
some of those skills that a woman should hone in on or develop?
I say learning to nurture the home. Okay, that
Oof.
doesn't only mean learning to sweep the floors properly or learn new skills that help the home feel like a home. Learn to make new recipes if it's like if cooking is your thing.
Hmm.
Learn to take care of the home and make it more of a home and not so much of a house. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I think that those skills, it takes a certain type of woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, a traditional woman.
Of
But I
course.
feel like just really prepare yourself and prepare your heart too, and prepare your mind, because being a traditional woman is going to require being with someone like you, someone who's, an entrepreneur, a businessman, who's going to have a very different schedule than your blue collar type of man.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you need to prepare yourself for that. And,
What would you say? Because I love the insight you're giving. I want to, and we understand that message, but I want to give women out there um, actionable items for them to say, hey, I need to develop this specific skill or this specific skill. What are maybe 2 or 3 actionable skills women out there should develop in order to be extremely compatible with a type A man, if that makes sense?
skills that we should develop. I feel like an actual physical skill would be, obviously you got to learn how to take care of the home. I know that's kind of like but you need to learn how to take care of the home. Ain't no man want to come to a dirty house. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. What does taking care of the home mean? Is taking care of the home just like taking that little iRobot and letting it sweep around the floors, or what is
I mean,
taking care of the home?
no. Personally, I would say taking care of the home is making sure laundry is done. I always try to make sure that I do the laundry 1 to 2 times a week, making sure everything looks clean, making sure I'm keeping everything tidied up,
Hmm.
making sure everything is set where it's supposed to go,
Nice,
making sure I'm meal prepping to make sure that we both have meals for the week.
nice.
Like showing up in those ways is, I feel like, a way to prep myself. You
So
know what I'm saying?
nurturing the home, learn how to nurture the home. That's number
Yeah.
one. What would you say the second one would be?
The second one would be is also, I feel like to me this was crucial. Find things that I enjoy on my time by myself when you're busy.
Wow.
Like find my own type of hobbies. So in those times that the home is already taken care of, there's things that I could do on my own that I feel productive enough while you're doing your thing as an entrepreneur and building your business and whatever it may
Yes.
be.
Yes.
So whether that's take care of myself, ain't nobody want no raggedy woman, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going to Pilates, getting my steps in, going to the gym. That's another thing. Taking care of the dogs. That's my
Yeah.
another hobby, that
Yeah.
my hobby. So just like you're doing your thing to take care of us, I also have to do things to take care of myself to show up even better for you. So I
Mm.
would say nurture the home, nurture your body, nurture yourself is a huge one. Take care of your body.
Mm.
Woman,
I love that.
woman, take care of your damn body. What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna throw a third one in there, and you do such an amazing job at this, and I'm surprised you didn't say it. It's a skill that is really the engine of a man who's building.
What did I miss?
It's emotional intelligence. For a
Oh,
man
yeah.
that's an entrepreneur, business owner, someone building something, our lives are emotional roller coasters, right?
Yeah.
And the Bible says that the woman is rib of man, and it's for a reason. That like you are the emotional intelligence engine behind who I am. Like how many times have I broken down in tears to you
Yeah.
about like things that I've been struggling with or things that I've been doubting or
Wow, that's
like
such a good one. I can't believe I forgot.
yeah, and something what it is she's humble. That's why. But that I think that's a huge skill to develop, because if you don't come into the picture when you meet that man without that emotional
Yeah.
intelligence, you're gonna see this guy deal with things, real things, trying to build something meaningful, and you're gonna be like, what's wrong with this guy?
That's
Or like, I don't really know how
wow.
to nurture that. Like
That's
I've never dealt with that,
yeah. Wow. That's so true.
right?
That's a really, really good one. And I completely forgot about that.
No, but listen, it's something that that's the thing that I probably praise most about you, because you do such a great job at that. I know that, like, it's funny because I feel like in another life you were an entrepreneur. Like your intuition when it comes to giving me advice of like decision that I have to make, you have no context of the business, what I'm doing or what has to get done, but some way somehow your advice just fits perfectly.
I'm a woman of many skills. kidding.
Yeah, but those are the top three things that I would
Thank you,
say
babe.
are
Thank
huge.
you.
Yeah.
And I want something I thought about this with the whole masculine and feminine. Realize that also men, you could be masculine, but you can also be emotionally open with your woman. You can break down. You can be vulnerable and let go. And I feel like that's a huge one that I just thought about when you were saying
Yeah,
those
I think
things.
that all comes down to being with the right woman,
True.
because like there's a lot of times where you are with the wrong woman and you don't feel that opportunity to be vulnerable because you feel like you may get judged. Like when you're with the right woman, you will feel such at home and at such peace that you don't even think about that twice. And I'm speaking
Yeah.
firsthand.
So I would say, just
Hmm.
to close that off,
Yeah.
I would say nurturing your home, nurturing your body, and nurturing your emotional mindset.
Oof. That's it. Home, body, mindset.
Woman.
Nice. That's what those are skills you should develop. Stamped by Elizabeth O'Donnell. All right. And I will say this to close it off, the power of the right woman. The power of having the right woman in your corner supporting your life. Guys, as a man, I was just out to dinner with a friend of mine. And listen, to each their own, everyone has their own way of living their life.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of us young men that are building have the ideology of like, hey, I'm gonna go buy the house, I'm gonna go get the money, I'm gonna go establish the business, and then I'm gonna find the person.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like that works, that does work, but I truly believe that there's so much beauty in building the thing while you're also building love. Like I'm very much building, but I'm also building with you, and the support that you give me and the momentum that you create for us as a couple is insane. I can't even put it into words. And something that
Mm-hmm.
I say to other people all around. And like, I don't I say this to compliment you, but it's also because it's real. I say this to other people. I'm like, since I've been with you, my stock has appreciated every single day. And we chat GBT this
Mm-hmm.
yesterday when we went
Oh
out to dinner.
yes, we did.
What was it? What was the statistic?
I think it's that men make 10 to 25%
No, it was
more
higher. It was like 10 to 40%
more money when they're
married.
married, and men live 7 to 10 years more
When they're married.
married versus being single.
Yeah. I don't know how that's true because she's very stressful, but
And what's crazy is that the debate that we had
Mhm.
was that who was better off,
Yeah.
married versus single. And there you go. Men, get married.
Yeah.
You'll live longer, you'll make more money, and you'll be happier.
Yeah. That's very true. So I wanted to close off that little segment with that. The other thing I want to dive into, because I want to build this podcast around the center of it being real. There's a lot of podcasts out there that give you a bunch of theory,
Yeah.
a bunch of that inspirational mental masturbation stuff where you're like, oh, I'm ready to take on the world. But like, let's mix theory with practice, with
Mhm.
real life. What are some of the struggles that we've dealt with while building this
Whoa,
relationship and also
wow.
building this life?
That's a really, really good one. We've had so many. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we've had a good
We've
amount.
had a
We've learned.
couple. We've had a couple. I would say, I think a lot of people could relate to this.
Mm.
I think a lot of people could relate to this. Understanding each other's love language.
Oh wow.
Understanding each other's love language.
To her point, that almost broke us.
It did. It did. It definitely did, because we have very different love languages. And what's crazy is like we took a test. I don't know if you remember this. My least important love language is his most important love language. So
Yeah.
that's like just shows you my, just for context, acts of service, quality time. His is physical touch.
Physical touch, and what was my second one? My second one
Quality
is
time.
quality time. Yeah.
So that's just to show you. My last one is physical touch.
Mhm.
So that was a struggle for us. I didn't feel understood. I didn't feel when, for example, we weren't spending enough time. I
Mhm.
didn't feel understood. And when I feel like I'm not receiving my love language, I can't give you yours. So we were both lacking. What did you
Right.
say?
Right.
So I feel like when we were both lacking, it was causing so much conflict between the both of us, because I wasn't feeling love, you weren't feeling love. And remember this, guys, just because my love language is, let's say, acts of service, just because I'm doing things for you does not mean you feel loved.
Yeah, yeah. We actually saw a TikTok on that, no?
Yes, yes, exactly. So just because I'm speaking to you in my love language does not mean you're receiving. And you tell me about that. You remember you told me it's like speaking different languages.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that. To put this in like dummy proof words, it's almost like the difference in love language is like I can say, hey babe, I love you so much, and mine is physical touch. My easiest and most receiving love language is physical touch. So I'll be touching her and kissing her and stuff, throughout a day. But that's not her number one love language. So that's almost like me saying I love you in Japanese.
And I don't understand Japanese.
Exactly.
So I don't know what he told me. I don't know what you said.
So advice out there that has worked for us because we had to resolve it, because we were dealing with it ourselves, is don't love your partner in the language that's most convenient to you. Love them in the language that they understand. That's T right
Wait,
there.
how is it like this?
I think one of
That's
yeah, like
T.
that's
That's
T.
T.
That's T.
That's
That's
so
real
true.
stuff.
And the moment I give you so much kudos and props because you typically, when it comes to resolving issues, you take that first massive step and you started to show me love in my love
Dude,
language.
I've learned so much about
And
relationship and love
it's
being
insane.
with
It's
you.
insane. So for me, it's acts of service. So
Yeah.
when this man, oof, started to take out the trash in the morning, ooh, or tidy up for me, or take the dog on walks. Oh my, I felt such a love
I'm like, yo, this
inside.
crap's easy, bro. I should have been doing this a long time ago.
When he started walking, babe, I walked the dog already. He already did his necessity. Babe, I took the trash out. Oh my God, I felt such passion and love for you.
Dude, I'm like a little kid too. Like I'll wake up in the
Yeah.
morning extra early and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do the dishes, I'm gonna take Kilo and Cian out, and I'm gonna take the trash out. And then the second I do it, I haven't even thrown the garbage in the dumpster. I'm like, babe, I did this because I know she's gonna appreciate it
And
so much.
I'm like, oh, yo, that makes me so happy. So when I
Yeah.
do things for you throughout the day, like, oh, I'm gonna cook this meal extra delicious for him, or I'm gonna make sure that I make his favorite meal. Like, and it pushes me when I see you. I want to hug you. I
Hmm.
want to show you love in physical touch.
Yeah, maybe I'll get lucky too.
So like it makes me want to love you in your love language because now I'm feeling loved
Yeah.
in mine.
Yes.
So guys, don't love people in your own love language. Love them in their own love language. You know
Yes,
what I'm
I
saying?
like that. What I was saying before that came to mind is I've learned so much about love and commitment in a very fast way with you, because let's be real, guys. I'm 22, she's 26. You've probably had like two or three like adult relationships,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've really had none, because like even now looking back, like I've never lived with someone. I've never like co-lived, all that stuff. So for me, it's still very new,
Mm-hmm.
But I've this whole time I've had this misconception of like, hey, love is just you guys have that spark for the rest of your lives, and that's why people get married. But it's aside from that, it's commitment. And our
Mm-hmm.
pastor in one of the sermons he preached too, it's like that covenant that you make with that person is really just fixing those feelings and having 100% certainty that that level of commitment for that person is going to be there for the rest of your life,
Yes.
and that's putting that person's needs over yours and vice versa, and even when it's not easy, showing up.
Yes.
That's what love is.
Amen. Commitment and showing up.
Yeah, I've listen, as a guy, I've dealt with that plenty of times where it's like we'll have our little situations, and I feel like I'm right, and she feels like she's right. That makes me 10 times more heated, and I'll be in my corner. I'm like, you know what? But I love her so much where I got to take a step, and even if I don't feel like I should, it's the right thing to do because as men, you have to lead as a steward. That's the point that I was making before. I have to do what's right even when it doesn't feel right.
And today Pastor Mike said something. Men, stop trying to prove yourself right to your woman and instead apologize.
Hmm.
That's a huge one, I feel like,
Yeah.
too. Like, stop trying to prove yourself. And that's a huge thing, too. As a man, sometimes as a leader, too, it involves you becoming a leader. And sometimes us women, we're so soft and feminine that personally, all it takes is like, if I'm like, all it takes is, babe, I'm sorry. And I'll break down, babe,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, too. I did this, I'm so sorry. And like right away, I find myself also apologizing to you because you were the first one to make that step. Obviously, too, I just want to say, doesn't mean the man always has to make the first step to apologize or to make things better. But I feel like in those very hard
Yeah.
situations, it helps that as the
The
man.
man has to take the step.
Mm-hmm.
Something Pastor Mike also said in his sermon today is that the man, if your woman isn't doing what you would like her to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
If like you're like, yo, why'd you do this, or why are you acting like that?
Oh,
Guys, take a
yes.
second to reflect in the man you are being for her. You know, as a man, you are called to be a leader, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to lead her to be the way that best suits you and best suits your guys' future. You know, so before saying, "Oh, she's the problem," take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, maybe I'm the problem. What
Mm-hmm.
language am I using when I speak to her? How am I
Oh,
loving her? How am
yes.
I leading her? You know,
Yes.
because she's very much a product of the man who leads her, you know? So
Ooh.
listen, I'm not going to say that that's a blanket
That.
statement, because there's times where,
Yeah, yeah,
each
yeah.
party has to be accountable. But
Yes.
for the most part, guys, like, if you guys want to take the role of being the leader, being the provider, like, yo, wear that shirt
Yeah,
and do it even when it's hard.
I agree.
That's going to lead us into our next thing. This is a big controversy. There's people out there, oh, you guys are young. You guys bought a house together. Why don't you guys get married first? Oh, I wouldn't be in a relationship so young because you guys
Oh my
could grow
God.
apart. You don't know if one person's going to change. Let's talk about that a little bit. The building together versus growing apart.
Yes.
Do you want to take a lead?
Yeah, I'll start us off. Yes, I've been hearing that so much lately too. More of the like, you guys are so young. Like,
Hmm.
why do you want to get married? Why do you want to commit? What? You guys already bought a house? You've only been together for a year? And it's kind of like we can either live in the fear of, oh my God, what if? Oh my God, maybe one day. Or we could switch our mindset to, no, I'm so committed to this person, to this relationship, a relationship led by God, that I will do everything and anything it takes to make sure it is successful.
Wow, that's so hot.
What mindset do you want to live in? With the fear, I used to have a huge fear of, oh my God, what if one day I get divorced? Coming from divorced parents,
Hmm.
oh my God, what if? Oh my God, what if? How about switch that?
Hmm.
Switch that in your mind. The power of your mind and the words you speak. So it's no longer what if. It's I will make it.
Yes.
I will make it till the end with you. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
I'm going to say why this is valid. ChatGPT this yourself. The number one factor that leads to divorce or separation is lack of commitment.
Mm,
There's a list of other ones, obviously, because there's other
yeah.
factors that contribute to it. But the number one, the top one, is lack of commitment. And the reason, uh, or what led me to really research that, is because there's so many people who are like, oh, date for 5 years before you guys get married, or date for 10 years before you guys get married. And I had a conversation with someone recently where it's like, why do we use time as the
Oh
measure
my
of
God.
success in a relationship? Because clearly it's not valid. You see people who've been together 10, 20, 30 years
Yes.
and still end up in divorce or broken up or never popped a question, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, clearly the measure of time isn't the best
Mm,
indicator of success.
I love that.
So we need to switch it up. It should
Yeah.
be, I think, core values. I think it was just a big cliche, but it's very true. Your partner should be your best friend.
Oh my God, yes. I
The
agree.
third one is, what's your foundation? And this is what I will say. I don't think we've spoken about this. If you guys are dating and you guys decide to make that covenant, if your foundation is weak, you know what's going to happen in your marriage? That. But all the weak things in your foundation are going to amplify times 10. And I mean, in the physical, in the emotional, in the political, and all those different pillars of a foundation of a relationship, all those things are going to amplify. So make sure the foundation is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure your partner is your best friend. Go make that commitment, and go from there.
I
I'm gonna be
agree.
completely honest. I lost my complete train of thought while I was speaking. Yeah, I was like
No,
trying to
you
improvise it.
you hit it
Thank you,
every
thank you,
single spot.
thank you.
And with the timing, oh my God, yes.
Mm,
And I've heard this so many times before. Like you said, there are relationships that could be together for 10 years and they don't make that step. Oh,
hmm.
no, no, no. Like, we're not ready. Oh, there's no rush. Oh, and then, like, for us, that I knew within
Yeah,
6 months, I'm like, I'm ready. Like, let's do this.
yeah.
Like, obviously, not yet. No rush. No rush.
No rush, but hurry up.
No rush.
No, I'm
But
just kidding.
I knew, like, I
Yeah.
knew you were the one. It did not take me being with you for 5 years to know that, or 10 years. When, like you said, when you have those core values that match, you find your best friend in that person and you build the correct foundation. There's nothing, time does not mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. We can wait 5 years for you to propose to me. We can wait a month for you, and we can wait 10 years. It will not change what we have and what we've built.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So I don't think that time matters. And I like to always give this as an example. My brother married his wife within like 3 to 4 months of knowing each other. They knew that they were meant for each other. They just felt it and they knew. They've been together now for almost 8 years with 2 beautiful daughters.
They this is something too, because this is business related. They own over $12 million in real estate together.
There you go. Look at that. They built from the ground up together. And look how beautiful, what a beautiful family they have.
Yeah.
After 3 months of knowing each other.
Yeah.
So time does not mean anything. If
Yeah.
you've met the person and you have what it takes and have that foundation,
Go off to the races kind of thing.
Yes.
Take that. What I will say too, which is played a role in my life, and I was in San Diego. Remember that guy I told you that was like played poker and
Yes,
a professional
yes.
poker player? Tabby. Shout out Tabby. Love that guy. We were talking about like that criteria. Like what's that? How do you know you're with the one? Right? And that's something that I went through, because ever since I was little, I've always thought of like getting married young, starting a family young, because I want to be the active grandpa in our children's children, in our grandchildren's
Yeah.
lives. Like I want to be, dancing with them, playing sports with them and stuff like that. That's why I want to do all these things young. But
Guys, our dog is sleeping and she's having a nightmare. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
yeah, I don't know. Anywho, we're gonna disregard that. How do you know you're with the one?
Yeah.
For me, two simple questions, and I encourage every man out there to find these questions for you too. My two questions were: the woman I marry is going to remind me of the love my mother has for me. She's going to have that motherly love and that motherly caring for me. And the second thing is, I would want my daughter to someday be like her. And that's how I know I'm with the one, because she answers yes to those two things. And that's a really real thing. I don't mean to get all cute. We're not going to start making out here on camera, but but it's true, because sometimes you're like, people, like guys, you'll be dating around and stuff like that, and you'll just be wasting time. Like, yo, just as intentional you are building the business, be intentional with the woman you surround yourself with. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been doing this perfectly my whole life, because I've made plenty of mistakes.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm proud of the experiences I lived, but I wish I would have had that question a lot sooner, because I would be a lot more conscious with the women I spent my time with, And it's like, guys, if you're dating around, don't just wait for God to give you this revelation of like, hey, son, this is the one, like,
Yeah.
do your part too. God will give you that revelation, but also have your two questions of like, hey, this woman checks yes on this and yes on this. The rest we can build and we can figure out.
Yeah. I love
That's
that.
huge.
I
Yeah.
loved that so much. And to tie in with your first one is remind you of the love that you have for your mother. Woman, ask yourselves this and pay attention to this. How does he treat his mother? How does he treat his mother? Because a man who does not care for his mother, who doesn't put her as a priority, is going to treat you the same or even worse.
I will say there's scenarios
yes.
out there with men that have, interesting relationships.
Absent mothers.
Yeah, absent mothers, or like something happened where
Yeah.
like that may not be the case. So take that with a grain of salt.
Or see how he treats women in general. Women that are important to him, whether that's a mother, whether that's a grandmother, whether that's his sister.
Yeah.
A way that a man could treat his family, how he treats his woman, how he treats his sister. I mean,
Yes.
I think that's a crucial one. So I think that that's a very important question a woman can ask herself. How does he treat the important woman in his life?
Yes.
And also to
100%.
tie in with you, like, what would he be like as a father? That's something I asked myself. Would he be a good father? Is this a man that I would be proud to say, this is the father of my children? That's crucial to me, because being a mother, one day becoming a mother, is one of the most important things in my life. So am I going to know that I have not only a partner in crime, but also an amazing father figure for my children?
Yes. I love that you're sharing that, babe. Just because this is the real stuff that I genuinely hope that the people listening to this can first acknowledge that this is episode 1 of the One Club podcast, and we still are so many reps I still have to get so many more reps in the game of podcasting to really be considered a good podcaster, and that's a north star that I'm working towards with the One Club. But I hope you guys can appreciate the value that we're putting on the table, because
Yes.
I don't want the perspective to be like, hey, we know it all, do this. I want it to be
Yeah.
as like, hey, learn from our mistakes, learn from the good, learn from the bad.
And learn with us as we continue to learn.
Exactly.
But yeah, but talking about this whole thing of obviously asking the right questions and finding the right person within a relationship, you said that you've learned a lot and we've both grown and we've both, obviously, this being your first real relationship. I have a question for you.
Hmm.
As a masculine man, I feel like sometimes you guys might struggle finding the right words or finding the right way to deal with a feminine woman. And I feel like this is something we struggled with a lot. A lot of men might, F this, walk away from the situation, or you deal with so much testosterone inside of you that it's hard for you to take a moment and have a resolution to the issue. I think this is something a lot of men struggle with, being able to let their guard down, just let the testosterone go down, and be able to find a way to mediate the situation. What's like something that you can say to men out there, something you've learned within this real relationship to be able to deal with those masculine, strong feelings that sometimes you might have
Yeah.
that overtake you, where you want to smash a door, or
Yeah,
like you
punch
want
a
to
hole through the
you want to
wall.
put,
Yeah.
yeah, and that feeling of punching a hole through a wall, what's something that you do instead that has helped you? Because you've done amazing at that, I would
Yeah.
say.
It's first. That's a really good question. First acknowledging where you haven't been your best, and I think progress in anything first comes with starts with acknowledgement of the problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've only been able to be good at that because at one point I was bad at it.
Mm,
So I had to turn around and say, okay, that wasn't my best performance. I wouldn't want my children to see this conversation. I wouldn't want my mother to see this
mm.
conversation. So that's a problem. I need to fix it. So now moving forward from that is, yo, guys, give yourself a minute to cool down.
Ooh,
On TikTok, it says emotions last about 90 seconds. After 90 seconds, if you still feel it, it's because you're choosing to feel that emotion.
ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So emotions, good, happy, sad, whatever, mad, last by the brain 90 seconds, and if you still feel it after 90 seconds, is because you're choosing to continue to feel it.
Wow.
That's a scientific thing. It's no, oh, I think this. No, it's science. So yeah. So give yourself, I would say 5-10 minutes, depending on the level
The
of
level.
heated on the radar you are, and think about all the good. And I know it's going to be really hard, but that's the point. Because
Wow.
when you are heated and you in your space, you're like, I'm going to cool down, but the second I talk, I'm going to bring up all the bad about her. And that's going to get you right back into the same problem where you were. It's calm down, cool down, and think about all the good associated with her. Remember the time that she woke up extra early and made you coffee, and because she knew you were running low on energy. Remember the time where you showed up after a long day of work, you came home and she had your favorite meal on the dinner table. Remember all those good things, and know that that's the person that
That you're
you're
fighting
arguing with.
in
That's the person you're fighting with. And this little situation isn't to be used as a blanket statement for all the good you guys have had. So don't let it get there,
Ooh, wow.
you know?
Wow.
So that's what's helped me a ton, because God, the reality is, like, when I'm mad, when you're mad, we both want to start saying things. Oh, but you've always been like this. Oh, but you did this before. Where it's
Yeah.
like,
You love bringing up the history step by
yeah.
step, and you've actually corrected me a lot in this,
Mm,
where I do that, where we'll cool down, we'll come back, and I'm like, okay, but you said this, and you said that, and that's why I said this. And you have made it so clear where you tell me, babe, we're not going to start listing everything that we did to each other. Let's progress on how we're going to solve this issue. And I have to give you so much credit, because I'd be like, wow, true. Me bringing up what hurt me is just going to hurt me again, and then hurt him. And then we're going to start all from scratch again. So I think that was great. That's amazing.
Yes.
And being able to give each other that time to cool down has, I feel like, really developed our relationship and helped us with those like
Yeah.
tough times.
That's a really good question, babe, because that's something that I feel like isn't really spoken about much. And if it is,
Yeah.
I
And
don't think there's true value behind the.
the reason I brought it up is because by what I hear, it's a struggle a lot of relationships have, a lot of couples have, and I feel like you've done so good with getting better at that. So I thought it would be good for you to share that.
Yeah. I have something for you too that I wrote down in the show notes. What's the biggest sacrifice women make when dating an ambitious man? What's
Mm.
something you've had to sacrifice while being with me? I hope nothing, but I'm sure there's something out there.
You've made it easy for me not to have to sacrifice much because I feel like you allow me to be myself and have everything that I need, you know?
Mm,
So what have I had to sacrifice? I would say in this building phase, maybe sacrifice financially, but for good reasons. So I would have to say my thing is like when I met him, I'm like travel, 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 travel. I want to travel. I want to travel, travel,
hmm
travel. And you're like, babe, chill. Let's buy a home. Let's build our future together. I've had to sacrifice personal, personal, what would you call that?
Pleasure, personal
Yes,
pleasure. Yeah.
I've had to sacrifice personal pleasure for the bigger picture of the both of us. So I feel like that's a big one that I think is so worth it because thanks to you and your mind, now we have a whole home,
hmm
you know? So I think that that's a big sacrifice. And sacrificing just personal pleasures in the way of like wanting to be with you all the time, you know? Like if it was up to me, ugh, I'd be I'd be on top of this man 24/7.
Yeah.
Like I
She
love
tries
you.
to like hug my calf while I'm working at my desk.
No, but it's like he's my when I tell you
Yeah.
like you are my bestest friend, and this sounds so corny, but we laugh so much
Yeah, we
together.
do.
We have the best and most amazing moments together. So if it was up to me, I'd be with you all the time. But I've had to sacrifice that. I've had to let you build yourself too and dedicate time to work and to building whatever it is that you are. So also allowing that has been, I think, a big sacrifice.
I'm gonna pitch in for 1 second because I think there's something that you're gonna agree with that you might have left out. It's you've also had to sacrifice the type A personality that you have, and I'm gonna say that because let's look at your background. Right, you were raised one of four. You're the only girl
Three boys.
with three boys, and you grew up in an environment where you competed with these guys. Like they weren't like gentle guys.
Yeah,
Listen,
but
Patrick, Billy, or
like
Will, sorry, and Mikey, love you guys, but from what I've heard, you guys weren't gentle with her.
no.
So you had to speak louder for you to be heard, and
Yeah.
you had to kind of be like rough around the edges because you were the guys, and you
Yeah.
also didn't grow up with much of a present father or
Mhm.
a good man as a father growing up,
Yeah.
you know. So your whole life you've taken that role of being type A, like, hey, I make the decisions, I know what's our best interest.
Yeah.
So that's something you've had to sacrifice too, you know,
Very
to
true.
submit.
Yes, I've been type A my whole entire life,
hmm
and people expect it of me too. Like, I feel like my family, my friends, oh, she's like this. So, like, give it to her. She'll make the decision. She'll do this. Let her plan it. Like, my whole family, they expect me to plan everything all the time.
yeah,
So, yes, I think that that's been a sacrifice I've also had to make. And coming from me being type A, you are also type A.
yeah,
So, when you have two people up here, there's going to be times that one of you have to come down
yeah.
and it might look like this sometimes, and that's totally okay. And I remember when we first met, I'm like, oh, holy guacamole, this is
hmm
going to be a struggle of ours
yeah,
because ain't nobody tell me what to do. And you were like, holy guacamole, this girl needs to submit.
yeah, yeah,
So I feel like that was yes, that is true. And I think that it's more of like, it never felt though for me that crap. I can no longer be the person that I am. I need to submit fully to this man just because I feel like there's been such a compromise. I submit to you in certain areas where I need to submit to you. But just like you've learned to also bring it down for me to be able to rise
of
and be a type
course,
A in certain situations too.
of course, of
So I
course.
feel like that was a huge thing because if
Yeah,
not, if you had me down here the whole time and kept me here, like that's not who I am.
yeah.
you
Your true
know?
instinct would at some point come down.
So
Yeah.
I would say learning. If you both have strong personalities, I submit to him when it comes to things of the home, when it comes to finances, when it comes to making big decisions
For a future.
for a future. I'm like, okay, yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Yes, whatever you say. But also, you bring it down when it comes to me being able to plan, me being able to lead, me being able to like be myself, do this. Like you also like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Let her shine
Yeah.
too.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest. It was one area of life where I do tuck my tail when it comes to her is around the home. Like
Oh yeah.
she's amazing with the home. She nurtures the home. She cooks, cleans, does it all. Where it's like I come here and I'm like, babe, where's the tinfoil? You know, like I don't know
Yeah,
where it's at. And like when you're like, hey, babe, can you help me out with this? Like I have no problem doing it. Or hey, don't forget to take out the
that's
trash before you leave.
true.
Like I have no problem. And
Yeah,
guys, that's a way of you in a way, I guess, submitting to your woman too. Like it all comes down to structure, you
I
know?
agree. I agree. And also, at the end of the day, also, don't dim your light for someone, you
Mm,
know? Don't dim your light for a man. You can shine bright, but sometimes maybe that brightness has to come down a little bit,
yeah.
you know? But I feel like, yeah, you let me shine very, very bright, and you let me be the person that I am. And that's something that I will say, woman, don't be scared of being who you are, because if you're with the right person,
You guys
you're
will figure it out.
you
You
will
guys will
figure it
know how to
out.
make it work. It all comes down to structure. What we
Yeah.
brought up at the beginning of this episode is what we're gonna end up wrapping up with. It's structure.
Yes.
And I want you, as I'm sharing this like kind of like closing segment, I want you to think of something that resonates in your heart that you can leave with the women that are either with the type A man or looking for the type A man. Like what's something that comes from your heart that they could truly apply to their lives so it can help them. I'm gonna lead so you kind of get context of what I'm talking about. One thing that I want to leave you men out there with is the importance of sharing the vision and selling the vision to your woman. I'm gonna say
Wow.
why. Because you only know the feelings, the passion, the emotion, the excitement of what it is you're building, business wise, whatever it may be. You know the outcome. You know what that outcome looks like. You know how big the yacht's going to be. You know how many trips you're going to be taking. You know all the details. And every day it makes it easy for you to work from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. because you know that. But does she know that? And the number one indicator for you to know she doesn't know that is when she's not acting correct. When you're like, why is she spending money on Gymshark, or why is there Amazon packages here? Dude, did you share the vision with her?
Wow.
Does she know what season of life you guys are in, or do you only know what season of life you're in? You know,
Wow.
so something we struggled with because I was in those shoes. Something we sat down and I'm like, babe, tell me what a perfect day in the life. Like, what does success look like
Mm.
for you? Give me sunrise to sunset. And she shared with me her perfect day. I do this, slow morning, coffee with the kids and Pilates, and then this and then that. And I shared with her my perfect day. And the way we knew we were compatible is because our perfect day lived within each other.
Collided perfectly.
And at that moment, I ended off that little conversation with, babe, that's what I'm working on building.
Mm.
That's why I'm working from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. So you can live that day. And at that moment, she understood.
Yes.
She was this see, this is where it comes in. This is why I want to love. Women are based off emotion. Men are based off of logic and I guess like survival. If you want a woman to commit to the vision the same way as a man does, sell her the vision in an emotional way. Have
Ooh.
her feel the outcome. You know, because once you gave me that emotion, you felt the emotion of what I'm working for. That's when you started to lock in.
Yes.
That's when you're like, yo, I'm gonna be mindful with these dollars. You know, I don't really
No
need
more
this gym stuff.
Gymshark, you
Yeah,
heard?
no more Gymshark, no more Amazon, because now you understand with your
Yes.
emotions what we're striving towards. So if I can
Yeah.
leave anything with the men out there, guys, if you have the opportunity to meet your other half, build with her. You will know, or you will see that when you are with the right person, everything multiplies. The momentum of two is always greater than the momentum of one.
Wow. Yeah.
And sell her the vision. Have her understand the vision, because when she understands the vision, everything else follows suit. For the
Wow.
women out there.
You have left me Oh my God, you left me speechless. That was so beautiful. That was gorgeous. And
Thank
it's
you.
so true. Guys, once he sold me the dream, I was locked
Yeah.
in. Oh
You
my
you know what
God.
told me that? Will, your
Oh,
brother.
the broski.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he sold me the vision, guys. And when I tell you, that is so true. Stop leaving women in the dark. Sell it to them. Like you just said, once you locked me in, all I could imagine was that day where I wake up and go to pull up. Just kidding. But where I get to be home with my children, take care of our beautiful home, and be able to live that
Yeah.
life that you sold me. I'm like, wow, I need to lock in and do the things the right way so that can happen. So we
Yes.
could both be aligned as one. I loved that.
Yes.
For the woman, something I can leave for the woman is yes, men need to be leaders in their certain ways, but us women, we also we also have to put our part to be there for them and build, let them
Mm.
build at the same time. So don't fight the man.
Don't compete with
Become
him.
one with the man.
Mm.
Find someone that you could become one with, where you don't feel like he's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing, and like find someone who you really, it just goes like this, where you feel like you're becoming one. Do not settle for less. Don't settle for a man that, oh, he's a good person. That's not enough. Make sure you guys are best friends. Make sure you have that foundation and have the tough conversations at a very early stage. Make sure you talk about the politics, talk about religion, talk about all those things that later on won't become an issue.
Mm.
So I feel like that's crucial for a woman. Have that foundation and the structure where you're both aligned, where you're not two people walking the same path, but where you become one walking together.
Mm.
So I think
Mm.
that's what women, we need to find that. Make sure that that's something that you know, from the very beginning.
Establish.
And I would say something that I've seen over and over again is find that best friend. Find someone that no matter how ugly the day is, no matter how much you fight, it's someone who you can hug, laugh with, and just be yourself. Be
Yes.
vulnerable, be happy, be sad, be mad, be upset with, be everything with. Find that best friend who you can become one with. For us, that's one under God. And whatever it is for you, but just find that your other half where you could become one.
Thank you so much for that. Guys, it has been a true honor and a pleasure to launch the One Club episode 1 podcast alongside, probably, no offense to the future guests, but my favorite guest,
Aww.
Elizabeth
As
O'Donnell.
I should.
Yeah. Guys, I'm happy and I'm very open for any constructive criticism, any topics that you want me to cover in the future with other guests. We have a wait list. If you haven't yet and you want to be on the One Club podcast virtually or here in person in our studio, join the wait list, guys. Comment. I'm receptive to any feedback that you guys have. Like I said, the most important thing for me is having a real conversation where people who listen to this can empower, can grow, can elevate, can raise the bar, can maximize their potential. Like, that's what I want, and I can't say it enough. Like, this idea was concepted from a place of love, because I think back to the Lewis that was 16 that wants to do something great but maybe didn't have mentors. Like, I want that 16-year-old Lewis to tune into this podcast, because this is the way that he's going to learn, this is the way that he's going to grow, and this is the way that he's going to become a great man. So with that being said, babe, thank you again.
I just want to add also, babe, I am so immensely proud of you. Part of the man that you continue to become. And the moment I met this man, I knew he was built for something amazing and great. And that's exactly what you're doing. So I just want to say I love you so much, and I am so proud of you.
We're just getting warmed up, guys. Stay tuned to the One Club podcast. I'm your host, Louis Xavier, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.